project where we stopped, we created a login. So we created a login, and I believe your login is supposed to be working by now. So next thing we're going to do is that we need to create what create our user section. So we just created, what we just did was created the variable section. We have not declared in a way that whenever you go to any particular page, it will recognize you. So that's what we're going to do first. So let me, okay, so what we'll do is we're going to go to the controller, and okay, so we're going to use the one that I already have. So first thing we need to do is to we're going to set the login for the user. So we are going to set the the section. So now, so next thing we're going to do is, so we are setting the session based on what we have here. So what we did here is that we already have our already created variable, our already created a section variable. So we are now creating it into what, a new set user section. So what we're trying to do is to set the user presence. So we are sending it into a new, we're just right checking for condition if it is already the person have logged in. So we are now assigning it into what, this particular variable. So even though it's just almost the same thing as just transferring, but still, so next thing needs to do is, next thing we need to do is, so we're going to set a variable. Now we're going to set so we're going to set a section function. So we just assigned it into what, this we are just set here, we created what, the section. We have already assigned it into a variable called section, but here we are now creating what, a function called what, set the user login. So now, but what we want to do is we want to make sure that if the section has already been set, so if the section already is set, we're creating a function that we can be able to do what, use in our multiple page. So here we are just assigning it into a variable, into a section variable, but in this situation we are doing what, we are just creating what, a function. So in this function, when this function is being declared, if the user is not logged in, so that's what we are saying, if the user is not logged in, because at this point what we believe that the user is already logged in. So we're just saying what, if the user is not logged in, what we want to do is what, we want to do what, so if the user is logged in, continue, but else if the user is not logged in, so the main thing is this. So the user is not logged in, we are trying to do what, send that user back to our login.php. so now we're going to use it. Now I'm going to call it outside of here. We're going to use, so we're going to use call, so to set it, so we're going to set it inside of this page, because we're going to use it in our multiple page. We're going to say so set user logged in, check if the user is logged in, so make sure it's closed. So we're calling it out here. So now we are going to set, now remember when we say that whenever you're trying to create a section, we must do what, first of all, set our section at the top of that page. So we have written a condition. We have already written a condition that will help us set our section at the top. So this is a combination of an inbuilt condition. So this function is there to check if what to set. This function is there to set the section, the section, declare the section at the top. So this is to declare what the section at the top. Without this section being declared, so without this section being declared, there is no section created. So now we're going to next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our update profile. So we're going to start from update profile or edit profile. So I'm going to use previous a code already created. So I'm going to use a code already created to so I will not go straight into writing everything from the beginning. So edit profile. I think I'm going to use from Bootstrap. We're going to copy from Bootstrap, so that we just follow the step rather than use this, because I think I applied CSS style. So just going to create a file called what to edit profile. So edit profile dot PHP I think I'm going to use the I don't really need to go and copy from Bootstrap. I already have the code in register. I'm going to use that register. So I think I'm missing something here. I made a mistake here. Let me check. Right. So I'm supposed to call the check user, not the set user. So this is the one I'm supposed to be calling to set the user function outside here. So to set the user, that's what I'm supposed to be calling, not to check user. So the check user is going to be called, the set user is supposed to be called out here. The check user function is going to be called in the individual pages. So you must call it in the individual pages to do what? Check. So whichever page that is being created, if you go into that page and you are not the user, it will log you to it will send you to what? The login. So we are going to be calling this in our individual pages. And remember, whenever you are calling it inside of the individual pages, you remember that you assign it into a variable called what? Call. So we just call it like the way we call this, but now instead of an individual pages. So we're going to start by, I'm going to go into the register and I'm going to get the code we already used here. I'm going to copy everything down here. Oh, see, I think, let me see, do I need, okay, I'm going to copy all of them, Ctrl C. I'm just copying only the HTML with only the HTML. So we want to go to our edit user profile and I'm going to paste it there. So from here we're going to make a little bit of editing in this edit user profile. So Now first thing we're going to get rid of, so let's start from the beginning. So I'm going to come back to this if statement. This thing is going to throw me error, so I need to comment on it. So I need to comment on this, our, then we can just refactor it and use it. Okay, so you know what, let me just remove it because it's not commenting. So let me just remove it, then we can bring it back when we are done. When we can write it, bring it back, or write it back, whichever one. So I'm just going to copy parts, so we'll be seeing this code as we remove whatever we want to remove. So here I'm going to paste it, Ctrl V, remove this, local host, so click on it. So we have the so we have this, we have the okay, we are going to edit email, first name, last name, so editable. So we use our email as what, a unique ID, so we don't want to edit the email. So what we only want to edit is only this what they call it, only other information except the email. So we are going to put disable in the email. So I'm going to come here to disable this input field. So I'm going to say input disable should we do read only? Let's just put disabled first. So we can, maybe we may put read only if this disable give us an error. So but it's not supposed to give us error. But all we just want is so that the user cannot be able to do what, edit the email, because what we are going to do is we are going to display the user. You know, most time when you go to edit profile, you are going to see your user information showing here. You are going to see your own information showing. So in this edit profile, we're going to make sure the user information is going to be showing in this edit profile. So if the user want to edit, change it, you can change it. Now for the password, we are going to create a separate page for changing of password. So I'm going to get rid of the password. So get rid of this, so get rid of all this password, so we'll keep a separate page for it. Let me refresh. So password gone. So what else again? So next thing again is, so occupation, we need to edit occupation, country can be edited, so that one's okay. So I need to get rid of this login and that sign in button. So I will come down here. Have you logged in? No, don't need it. So in this submit, what we are going to write here as our submit, this thing will not be sign in. We are going to write update. Let me refresh, let me see how it looks like. Right, so we're going to write update. So I wrote a CSS code for it just is style. So I wrote one, I just wrote a sidebar code. So let me copy it. So I'm just going to copy it and I'll show you. Let me just copy this, Ctrl C. Let me not go. So here I'm going to say sidebar. I don't know if I'm spelling my bar correctly. Sidebar dot. It doesn't matter if I even spell it correctly. I'm just trying to get the spelling. So Ctrl V is just a code. So class. So this is just for So what we want we are passing here is just all this thing is um just regular page. Let me see. So I'll bring in all this style. So what I'll do is I'm going to require this in. So I also wrote let me bring in this style. So the style I wrote is just a CSS, just ordinary CSS style. You can come inside and play with it and edit it if you choose. So I just added it there. So control. So let me just copy the style and add it there. Paste. And I would think it's too style. I just based on what I was writing. So I think I'm just going to go a little bit through this if there's time. Let me just take, so I don't focus on styles. I just want to sort the HTML stuff can be done anyhow. You can just you can use templates to can use templates, and then the main thing is the backend code. So you can use templates, you can write the front end. That one is not going to be problem. There are a lot of people that will help you write back the front end. So I'm just trying to bring in, so I need to connect this CSS to this page. So I need to connect the two CSS. So I think okay, let me be sure I'm using the right one. So let me okay. So I think I'm just going to use the three of them. I just can't remember which one. So I'm just going to require the two CSS. After I'll check which one is styling. So I have the two of them. I'm just requiring the two of them. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the sidebar. So the sidebar, I'm going to require it inside of this page. So I'm going to open PHP here to require it. So PHP with question, oh sorry, yes, like this. So I want to require it at the top. So right, so now let me so require once parenthesis double quote. So I'm going to say sidebar, so sidebar.php, make sure it's closed, and let me see, let it pop out here. No, it's not going to look nice, right? So it comes in with already the style I already have here, just a style that I put there before. So I just made it a little bit responsive. So this is for home, this is supposed to take you home, and so when it goes to smaller font, anyway, this thing you can change it if you want. So let me, even though it does not look nice, I need to make changes. I'm just bringing the style idea. So let me just use this. Let me see if I can make it side by side. Side by side. So let me, this is just styling it. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to put a class type. So here I'll apply another style here. So what I'm just doing is putting the display flex flow, so it will be a flex flow, so that the thing will be the sidebar will be at the other side. Oh, I don't need to put it, sorry, not here. I don't need to put this here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap everything in section. So I think I'm going to wrap this with section. So we'll see section. So section is just the same thing as div, if you can remember. So wrap it with section. So I'm going to wrap every of the form with section. Let me see. So here. So wrap it with section. Yeah. So let me see. Okay. Let me put the type in the section. So class type type. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is not do well. Oh, okay, I think I know what I made. Let me put it here. So type left 70. So I'm going to apply it inside of this place. So type, so that it will push only the. So yeah, this is exactly what I think. Even though it's creating me a scroll bar, meaning the percentage I give it, I'm going to reduce it. So this is okay, but so I need to reduce this 30% from the left. So 30% from the left. Let me make it something like 20 on the left. Refresh. Let me see. Let me change it to something like 18. 15. This is okay. So I think it's okay now. So this is okay. So now this is our logout. So this is supposed to log us out. So what I'll do, let me show you. Let me go back to that sidebar. So what is inside of that sidebar is what so it's supposed to lead us to what, a logout page. So I'm going to create a logout page, and it's going to be very, very simple to create a logout. Logout is not something that is very difficult. So just log out. So log out dot php. It's a very simple thing to create. So I'm going to come with the code. Let me just bring in the code. It's very small. It's very small code. This is it. So all what we are doing inside of the logout is we are destroying the section. So inside of the logout, you're just destroying the section. You're just saying the section that was created, the email that was created, just remove it out of the section. So you know when you logged in, what you did was input. Let me come into this place. So instead of your login, what you did was you created the section where you took the variable, you took and your email, the user email, and you put it inside of the section. But in the logout, what you are trying to do in your logout is you are saying what, destroy that section. That is, remove everything, remove whatever is inside of the section. So that's how you do your logout. Very simple. Then you send that person to the login. It makes sense to send the person to the login. So when you log someone out, the person goes back to login. So maybe you have another page you want to go and send the person to. You can just pass it here. So I'm going to click on the logout very soon, and I think I should have used icon here, but you can use icon if you want. So so next one we're going to do is, so I think we just did let me just lay the foundation for our styling before we go into writing code, backend code. So if I click on this logout now, we are out. See, the section will be destroyed, so I'll have to log in. I think what I used in logging was this mic. So one, so login. So welcome back to this home page. Now let me think I have a style. Let's do a little justice to this home page. So instead of our sidebar, what I'm going to do is, this place is supposed to take us to the home dot. So I'm going to write home. This first one is our home.php. So anyone that clicks on the button is going to take us to home. So this setting, we don't have anything called setting yet, but we're going to input it. So that will be for changing of password. So that will be for changing of password later. We're going to do it later on. So I'm just putting hashtag there. So this for the home, so that when someone is inside now, I will bring this, I'll require this sidebar instead of the home also. So I think I applied a little style there. Let me bring it in. So index, so I think I just applied the little style there, just little style. Let me bring the style into that place. See, so instead of the home, so remove this and replace it with whatever I have styled there. So now all this is just regular style. You can just go through it in your private time. I have not passed anything here, so I'm just going to comment on this. Okay, so I'll move this so I'll avoid the error. Okay, all these are just styles. So import. So let me remove any code we have not done. So remove this first, get rid of it, and we're going to come back to that. So this is just, so I created a drop down also, so a drop down page. So this drop down page, so I think this is just a normal style. Let me normal style. Now I'm going to get rid of So I'm going to get rid of this for now. So when we come, we're going to talk about it. It just want the style I have here. Let me just see how the thing looks. Right, it looks okay. So this is how I want it. So I just have a little style here. So this is the logout, and our so the setting, we have not put anything inside of the setting. So next thing we're going to do is this is our edit profile. So when we click on this edit profile, it's supposed to lead us to our home. So we have edit profile, and we also have for edit profile image. So these are the things we're going to do. So we're going to create for edit profile and edit profile image. You can go through this style and see what I did there. The style is not, even though I know most situations people are not going to be creating or styling stuff. People will have to use templates. It's always very easy to use templates. So um so now for the let me remove the we have not written the profile image, so I'm going to remove the link for it. Just put hashtag there. So we still have we have a edit profile. So when I refresh, let me click. So when I click on edit, so this is not going anywhere. Same thing with our setting, not going anywhere. So our logout are all working perfectly, but when I click on edit profile, it's going to take me to this edit profile. So you can style it if you want. So maybe you can just change the style for this page and then give it your own style, whatever one you want. So so now let's go straight to the backend. At least let's write some code. So even though we're not going to make this thing work, let's go and write some code. So I'm going to go to the controller. So instead of the controller, so now first thing we're going to do instead of the controller is let's bring in the code for the edit profile. So I've already made all this easy, so I'll show you how to do it. So let me bring it in. So this is a code for editing the profile. So this is a code for editing the profile. So what we are doing is here we're passing what all those, the middle name, last name, and username and so on. So we are saying instead of this place, so we are saying we are using what the messenger that we created at the top. If you remember, that's what we have been using since the MySQL query that goes into the database and perform the job for us. So we are telling it to do what? So we are telling it to do what? Update. So this is one of the things you need to understand. This keyword, if you could trace back again to our register, if you let's start from the register, you see we did what? Insert into. These are keywords that you really need to know. Select. So the insert into puts data inside, just like we did in our register. The select gets data from a particular from the database, but the update is change data inside of the database. So we are trying to do, we are saying change. So change our inside of this table. So our table name is what? So our table name is users. So we're saying change instead of, so change instead of this table, and set first set the first name that's inside of the database. You will see anytime you see the backtick, it is actually the one written inside of the database, is the one inside of the database. So change it to what? If you can remember, this is what we did when we were writing inserting data into. So you pass what? First thing you do is you pass the single column outside, the double inside, then the double dot at the side. So then the variable that is coming in, the new value that is coming in. So we are doing what? We are changing what is inside of the database with what? The new value that is coming in. So from the outside. So from this our edit profile. So we are going to be passing a new value that is going to come in and do what? Go into the database where the username is and the first name is, and change it. Same thing we are doing for the middle name. So we are doing the same for the last name, the username, the gender. I think we don't have gender yet, so I would just okay. Okay, I'm not going to put the gender now. Let's, when we are done, I'm going to put this gender again, but not now. So we're going to insert it very soon, but not now. Should we? Okay, what we'll do is I'm going to hurry up and put the gender inside of our register. So what we're going to do is, so we're saying insert, we're going to change gender. So we have country and we have changing what? Occupation. Where what? Where, now this is very important. We are changing it where what? Our email. Remember what we use in creating the section was what? The email. So we are saying where whatever is inside the section, which you know is your email, is the same with whatever is inside of what? This. So is the same with whatever is inside of the database email. So the user that is inside of that website should be what? The same with what? What we have in our this particular user's database email. So it has to be the same. If it's not the same, this user is not in the right page. So this is how you exchange. So among everybody that is in that database, this page, because of this is the last page that specify to the individual user. So this is the last code that determine the individual user. So you're trying to do what? Exchange the email. You are trying to change the details where what? Whatever is in our section is the same with whatever is in this particular person's what? Email. It has to be that. If not, you do what? So if not, so you do what? Say what? Update fail. So if the operation does not go successfully, throw us an error saying what? Update fail. If it goes successfully, just return us what? 1. So I'm going to use this one again to display what? Our success message. So now let's rush and input what? So we're going to input gender in our register. So I'm going to go back to our register, so we put gender. So we're going to insert it inside. So inside of this place, let me see. So we're going to add gender as part. I think I will have to register this user again. Do I necessarily need? Okay. What will happen is I don't really need to come and scatter the register form to start putting registering adding gender there. I don't really think it's necessary, but there are ways we can bypass it. And anyway, since we are still learning, let's do it. Since we are learning, let's do it. Let's not skip anything. So let's not skip anything. Let's do it. So I'm going to go to bootstrap.com. So I still need that bootstrap.com. Since I'm using Bootstrap, I need to go to using the Bootstrap. So I'm going to go there. I want to get what I'm looking for now is, let's use the radio button. Let's see if we can get a radio button instead of that form. So a radio button that if you click on this, it will do what, display what, mail. So a one that you can either, the radio, the radio button means that it gives you this option that you can select only one. So let's look for something like that. Let's go into the form, range. Okay, I'm supposed to be clicking on, I don't need range. So what I'm going to do with the range, so I think it's the radio and check. I don't need the checkbox, I need the radio. So when I click on one, it has to be, you can be either what, male or female. Let me see if I have the one. Let me see. No, I don't need this checkbox. Okay, I think I've already seen what I'm looking for. I've seen what I'm looking for. These are all input type radio. So I think this is warning. So warning. So what we are going to use is, I'm going to use this one here. So I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to copy from here. What we're going to do is, we're going to copy from here and stop here, Control C, and I'm going to rush toward that. I'm going to go into that, our register form. Make sure we're in our register form. So instead of register form, whichever place you want to place it, so I'm just going to look, I'm going to place it immediately after the immediately after first name, last name, user. So let's place it immediately after user. So let me paste it here, Control V. So what we're going to pass in this place here, we're going to pass in male, just description, male. So in these two, I'm going to pass what, female. Female. So in this one, I'm going to pass others. This is disable. So I'm going to get what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go into that others. You can fix between that one and later on. So I'm going to pass in let's do it. So let's say others. Let's say others, which is funny. So let's just do it like this. So now this video is going to show in our, let's log out. So let's log this person out. So let's go into the register button. So you can see this video. Why is it showing me like this? So I wanted it to be straight. Okay. So I wanted it to be straight. What am I going to do that? I'm going to give it anyway, doesn't matter. So you can apply the style to make it straight. Let's show you one last thing to do, so we can be able to fix this before time runs out. So now I'm going to go into, instead of our admin, click on the admin. So we're going to go to that project. So when I click on it, now what we're going to do is we're going to add one more column. So here we're going to add the column one more. So I'm going to go to structure. So we say add one more column. So where I want to add it will be after. So okay, funny enough, okay, I check this. So our email is here before our username, and I didn't check. Think it wasn't so instead of our edit profile. I'm going to check it. So username, so where we are passing it will be, wait to, let me add the gender after username. So I'm going to click here. So add one column after username. Go. So this column is going to be what? Gender, and it's going to be variable character, and it's going to have just it doesn't matter how many things you put here. But one thing is that I'm going to make it to be null by default. It's not, we're not making it null by default. Maybe the is it necessary? Let's not make it null by default so that the user will input it. There's no reason to make it null by default. Means that what null by default means is meaning that the user can be able to input, can be able to avoid filling in this particular field. So we want the user to fill in, so we have to know if it's a male or a female. So I'm going to save. So that has been added. So let me go to my, so that has been added gender at number 7. So let me go to browse. So I'm going to have that empty field for gender. This is it, empty for gender. So now I'm going to go into my this thing I've now triggered. I have to go into the, since I've made that changes, you have to come here instead of where you are logging in the user, where you are registering the user, you are going to add it. So we remember where you added it. So remember that value is coming in from here. So we're going to pass in, I added it after, so say after username we're going to pass variable what? Gender, comma. So that same gender we need to add it here. So where we're going to add it is, now this one need to correspond with what we are in the database. So where I passed it is what? Not number 7, which is number 7 is after username. So I need to make sure it's exactly the same place. So after username, so I'm going to come after username, I'm going to put my, remember we start with a double single first. I'm going to double, then you have your dot concatenate. Now you pass the gender there, simple and short. So we need to go back to that register, so we make some changes. You know, we are not done with the register. Let me expand this so we'll be sure to change. So we just added these 3 option 1, 2, 3. So the name is usually the same because of it's the same listen. So it already comes with this radio name, but remember it's gender. That's what it is, the gender. Remember, this is what we're going to use. So since you see that the 3 of them has the same name, I don't know if they applied any style. I'm not sure they applied any style in this. I'm just going to, should I change it to gender, or let me just leave it, copy it. Let me just copy it. So I could have just changed it to gender, but there's no need. So I'm going to come here, doesn't matter where I'm adding it, but let me just put it here. So we're going to say global underscore post, and double quote, control V, paste it there. Make sure you close this, and you assign it into a new variable called what? Variable what? Gender. So variable gender, and you need to pass that gender here, and we need to make sure that the gender is not empty before filling it too. So just going to copy this, Ctrl C, and paste it here. Control V. So change this to gender, simple and short. So where we are passing it, make sure wherever you're passing it here, so we are passing it immediately after username. So gender, close it. So let me make sure that it's the same, exactly the same thing I'm doing inside of the controller. So I'm going to go into the controller. So make sure it's after username, so we don't always make sure the place you are putting in, so you don't make the mistake. So we are done. So whichever user that is filling in now, we are going to fill in a user. So I will try to register a new user inside the database. So this user is going to be called, let's say, Rita, not Rita. This last name. Just writing any name. So let me just pass in Rita, female. Here put what? Rita at gmail.com. Occupation doctor, choose country Australia, register. Successful. So let me log in with that Rita dot. I think that's what I used. Rita at gmail.com. So 1 2. So now login. So perfect. So Rita has been registered. So what? So we have created this. So I think we are not losing anything. So now back to that our edit profile that we just did. So we just did the edit profile. So first name, last name, middle name. So we just did it. So next thing we are going to do now is, so I think I have, so gender is added after username, right? Exactly after username, correct? So gender after username. So it's perfectly said correct. Let's go into the database and be sure this. Let's see what happened here. So let me refresh. So see Rita. Wait, I didn't even check. I didn't even check. Okay, it sent option 2. We didn't even change. I didn't even edit that. Sent option 2 as the value. So I'm supposed to, where is that register? I was still in a haste. Let me go back there. Value option 2. I didn't even change it. So this is supposed to be male, and this is supposed to be female, and this is supposed to be others. Whatever others mean. Let's go back, and I remember what I said. There's no need. Is it necessary to drop this database? I don't really need to drop it. So let's just continue registering. Doesn't matter. So you can drop it yourself. I think it's going to send in a new person. So you can register a new person now, and it's going to send you. So let me log out, go to register, and let me register someone really fast. So this person is going to be Friday. Friday, Jean, Alex, Exxon, username, Alex, mail, email, so username, register, one, occupation, gamer, choose country, Belarus. So perfectly. So now let's so what we're going to do next is we're going to so I'm going to post you the code to continue. So see you in our next lecture.